Hey guys, today it's absolutely boiling, so I thought what better video to bring you than a summertime get ready with me. I'm going to catch you up with everything that's been going on the last couple of months, and of course I'm going to show you how I got this makeup look right here. If you're new here, by the way, welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, but if you want to see how I got this makeup look right here and also hear about what I've been up to the last couple of weeks, then please keep watching. So I'm very uncomfortable right now, which is why the window is open, so I do apologize again if you can hear screaming neighbors or anything like that. I feel like you should be used to it on this channel by now, but if not, then welcome. Apologies. I try to cut out as much as possible, but you know, sometimes people just scream. So today I just wanted to do kind of like a summertimey get ready with me. I really want to do like proper bronzy glowy skin, but I want to keep the eyes kind of bronzed and neutral shock, and then I want to do a red lip because I feel like it's been absolutely ages since I've done a bold lip and I'm feeling something kind of more orangey toned. So first I'm just going to go in with my NYX Honey Dew Me Up primer, plus this is nice and sticky so it will help keep your base on during the lovely summer heat, which in England just feels absolutely horrible, and we have no AC in our homes, so it really just is like sticky and muggy and humid. I've also got these lovely new friends that I need to cover up today. So next I'm just going to do my eyebrows. I've got the Brush Up Brows Brow Soap by BeautyBay. I've tried this once and it wasn't as good as just my normal brow soap, but I don't know if I used enough, so I'm gonna give it another go. Everyone deserves a second chance. Does anyone else find that the heads of the spoolies just always seem to like twist off no matter what you do? It drives me absolutely insane. This is the only one that hasn't done it, and it's the one that came with the pink honey eyebrow wax. So if anyone has any tips for that, let me know. I was gonna try maybe super gluing the heads on, but it just drives me insane because when you're trying to like glue your brows down and then it just sort of spins out. Does anyone else get that, or am I just nuts? So I'm so sorry that I've been absent for like so many weeks. I know I had a video up last week, but that was honestly just like something I thought, let me film super quick, get it up so that I have something and I'm not missing another week. Which, by the way, if you watched that, thank you, because that did so much better than I thought it was going to. I wasn't expecting it to do well. I thought it was gonna get like 2 views and those views would be me and my mum, but it actually did pretty well, so thank you. But I digress. So I know I kind of caught you up in my last get ready with me because I kind of had a similar problem then where it was just a case of being very absent from YouTube for a little while. But if you watch that, basically I was talking about like I had all these kind of like health things pop up, and it got to me quite a bit. One of the things that I touched on but I didn't really talk about too much was I had a filling replaced, and I had that done under sedation. That was done on the NHS, but after that I was in so much pain that I was on painkillers every day for a month. Okay, just quickly I'm gonna dot some of this color corrector under my eyes. And I'm lightly going to go over those spots with a little bit of my Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I just do this under my makeup because this is a little bit lighter than the foundation I'm going to be using today. And I find that it blends better if you put the foundation over the top as opposed to the other way around, because then it just looks like really light circles on top of your foundation, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm doing that. But yeah, I had this filling replaced, and the dentist who did it went on holiday and there was no one else around to take a look at it, like not even to look and say what the problem was. And he was on holiday until September. Obviously I couldn't just go around like taking painkillers all day every day, because there was actually a point where, I kid you not, I was screaming crying because I was also on cocodamol, which is codeine and paracetamol, and I've been taking that and ibuprofen, and they had ripped my stomach to shreds to the point where I had intense stomach pains, so I couldn't take those anymore. So I was just trying to like take paracetamol to deal with this really intense pain, and like I'm talking, if I wasn't taking anything then I was crying. It was so bad, and it was like all up my jaw into my ear. It was just horrible. So I couldn't take painkillers because it was killing my stomach, but I could not take painkillers because it was killing my tooth, and then there was no dentist around to help. So I booked an emergency dentist appointment with the NHS, and she told me that I didn't need a root canal, that it was fine. It might have been infected or something like that. So she told me to kind of get like these interdental brushes and to floss between the tooth with toothpaste on them. So I tried that. That didn't work. And then I ended up just paying to go private to see someone, and she literally took one x-ray and she was like, you need a root canal really badly. And she was like, you need one now. And I was like, how have I gone? Like, how did they do a whole filling and then not arrange any aftercare when because they did know that I might have needed a root canal after that filling. And then the emergency dentist did an x-ray and she said I didn't need one. So I got booked in with the guy who does like root canals, and I realized I'm just kind of blending nothing now. And I'm really nervous at the dentist because I have extremely sensitive teeth. I can't even get them cleaned without a lot of pain. Sorry, just before I get into that, I'm gonna go in with my Urban Decay Hydromaniac foundation. This is in the shade 30. And I'm just going to squeeze some on my face. And just before I blend that in, I'm gonna use my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. I just find that doing it this way helps the makeup to really last. I'm blending that out with my sponge. So yeah, basically I went to this guy and I was like, there's no way I'm doing a root canal without sedation. I'm far too sensitive. And at this point, I also needed the front tooth doing, but I wasn't in any pain with it, so I didn't kind of rush that one. But I thought, like, why don't I just get both done at the same time? I could be knocked out, wake up, they're done. He invited me in for a free consultation and he was basically like, you know, I just want to understand why you're so nervous, that kind of thing. Tried to put me at ease, and he was absolutely lovely, but I still left saying, no, I want to do sedation. But because they need to book like a special sedation team to come in, it was taking a lot longer to happen. So what we ended up doing was he suggested I did like an hour-long session where he started the root canal to just relieve the pain. So I was like, okay, well, why don't we try that without sedation? And then if that's okay, then maybe I can do the rest without sedation as well. So I went and I got that done, and honestly, I did not feel a single thing. I mean, obviously I felt the numbing injections going in, but they weren't that bad at all. And I was so shocked. I was like, have I just done part of a root canal without being sedated? So I had part of that done. But in the meantime, we'll come back to the root canals. In the meantime, I had also gone to the GP because, as you can tell, I'm very, very fair and I have a lot of moles. I'm sure I mentioned this in my last video. Just using my Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer now. This is also in the shade Vanilla. So yeah, I'm sure I mentioned this in my last Get Ready With Me, but one of my moles was looking, it had changed again from last year. I'd seen the GP about it last year, and then she said it should be fine, but it had changed again. And when I went back to the GP, she agreed that I probably needed to get it seen by a consultant. So after I had the half root canal done on my tooth, which was great, by the way, because it really relieved the pain, it was amazing. Then I went to go and see the consultant at the hospital about my mole, and I had that removed the same day. But bear in mind, I still had pain in this jaw from where the injections and stuff went in. It wasn't fully complete, so they still needed to go in and do some more cleaning. So I couldn't sleep on this side of my face. I then had the mole removed from the left side of my back, so I couldn't sleep on my left side or my right side. I had to kind of sleep on my front with the left side of my face down, and that was the only way I could sleep, because it was just, I honestly felt a bit like Frankenstein's monster. I just felt like people were just poking me and prodding me and ripping into me. Actually, in the meantime, I'm going to start filling in my brows. This is just my Nars Brow Perfector in Komo. So yeah, at this point I felt like I was just sort of ripped to shreds. I had to go, I think I had the mole removed on the Monday. Then on the Wednesday, I went back for a 4-hour session to finish this root canal and then do this one. The injections for this one were really fucking painful. They were so sore, I'm not even gonna lie. But it was fine. It was a little bit more sensitive, so he had to put like anesthetic or something in the canal, but he managed to successfully do both root canals, and he placed a temporary crown on this tooth. So yeah, I had all that done, and then I had my stitches healing. I had to get my stitches removed. I had 5 stitches for my mole. Also bearing in mind that where the mole was removed, because it was in such an awkward spot, I needed my mum to change the bandage on it every time I had a shower. So every day I was having a shower, I needed to make sure that my mum was like free to change the bandage. It was a lot. And when I had the 2 root canals done, I also had to go back on Komo because it genuinely felt like someone had punched me in the jaw with needles. However, that went away after about a day or 2, so that was fine. I had to go and get the stitches removed. I then also had to go and get the permanent crown fitted for this tooth. So those things are finally done. However, the incision where my mole was removed was not healing as fast as we would like after the stitches were taken out. So I now have to go back to a nurse again to see about the wound and see if it might need stitches again. I hope not. Hopefully it will be fine. But that has basically been my life for the last like 2 months. It's just been pain, appointments, needles, being poked and prodded, and I just had no energy. I had no will. I had absolutely no intention of filming for YouTube, if I'm honest, taking pictures, anything like that. I was just, no, I was in too much pain. It was horrible. I was really burnt out with work. I felt like I got to a point where I couldn't even stay awake. I'm currently off this week, and the amount of energy I have compared to when I was working, because I didn't actually take any time off the entire time that I was getting these root canals done and I was getting my mole removed, and I still had all the other stuff going on from before that, from my previous Get Ready With Me. So I had all that going on, and the entire time I just did not take a day off, which was probably a bit dumb of me. Whatever, I did take a long weekend off, I think two weeks ago, because I just got to a point where I was like, I need sleep, I need to just do nothing, and that actually helped a lot. But honestly, this week has just, I feel like a brand new person. I've got my crown on, my back, like, it doesn't hurt anymore at all. I got to a point where I forgot what it was like to not be in pain every day. I had a note on my phone that literally had every single pill that I had been taking, because I had to start taking pills for my stomach because it had been so upset by the ibuprofen and the Komo. So I had to take those for a month. I was honestly taking so many pills, I had to keep track of them to make sure that I wasn't going to take too many in one go, because it's one thing, you know, maybe taking them a little bit too early when you're only taking them for a day or 2, but I was taking painkillers 3-4 times a day, sometimes 5 times a day, every day, for a month. So I had to just be really careful that I didn't, you know, permanently do damage to my stomach, because that was the last thing we needed on top of everything else. But yeah, so if you're wondering where I've been, I have basically been doing nothing and just trying to recover. YouTube was the last thing on my mind, if I'm honest. Like, it was too much. There was way too much going on. But now that I am pain-free, I've got a bit of energy back and I've got a bit of time, I feel like I'm finally ready to get back into things. Okay, I'm gonna do some cream bronzer. I'm using my Fenty cream bronzer. This is, look at this. I feel like I really need to make like an apology video or something, because if you watched my review video on the Fenty cream bronzer and blush, I absolutely ripped into this bronzer, and yet look at me, I'm hitting pan on it. Like, I really like it now. Sorry, Fenty. I do apologize. I love Fenty, but for some reason I just didn't get on with this at first. But anyway, so this is in the shade 03 Macchiato. I'm just gonna use, I've got this brush from NYX, and I like to do it quite high up. Okay, I'm just gonna blend this out with my blender. But anyway, so now that my summer of horrors seems to be, hopefully, bloody touch wood, is coming to an end, I've actually got quite a few plans for August. I don't know why, but everything just seemed to fall in August. So me and my friend have booked tickets to see Romeo and Juliet at the Globe. It's starring, what's his name? Is it Alfred Enoch? Enoch? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But he played Dean in Harry Potter, and he played, I forgot the name of the guy, but he was the main guy in How to Get Away with Murder in the first season. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, so I'm very excited to see that. And then me and another one of my friends are going to go see Swan Lake Candlelight Ballet it's in a cathedral, which looks really cool. I'm really excited to see that. So we've got that going on. I've got afternoon tea with my mum booked, which was actually a Mother's Day present, but because of COVID, I wanted to book something way in the future, but also when I knew that we were both going to be double vaccinated. So we're having afternoon tea at the Ritz, which is very exciting. I've booked a Friday off to go and do that. I know I've got at least one other thing on, but I really can't remember what it is. I hardly ever use this, but I'm going to use the Laura Mercier Translucent Glow Setting Powder today, because I want to stay nice and glowy. I'm not going to use it like under my eyes or in my T-zone, but I'm going to use it around the perimeters of my face. I'm doing my matte powder first. For that, I'm going to use my Fenty Beauty Butter Bronzer. I feel like everything's very precariously placed at the moment, so if you hear like a big scream, you know that something's gone awry. I feel like this is a lot darker than I remember it being. There you go. Accident number one. Yeah, I feel like this is a lot darker than I remember it being, but hopefully it just blends in. It's got a very golden tone to it. It's kind of like a loose highlighter more than anything, but that's fine. I want to be like a glowing disco ball. It's definitely got a sheen to it. I feel like it looks more highlightery in person than it does on camera. On camera it's definitely looking more like a kind of satin glow, which from far away actually it does look like that in person, but up close you can definitely see more of like a metallic glow. Am I making any sense? Okay, I have been constantly using an eye base during the summer, whether I'm doing an everyday makeup look or something more crazy, just because my mascara smudges like mad, and so does if I use, because I do shadow liner quite a lot, and I find that this just helps keep it all in place. I'm just gonna blend that in. I don't think I own a shimmery bronzer anymore. I think all my bronzers are matte. Okay, this eye look is gonna be extremely simple. So I'm actually gonna use my bronzer. This is the Vieve Modern Bronzer. It's in the shade Light. So I'm just gonna take we're just gonna pretend like that didn't happen. I'm just gonna take this right hand shade. It's the one that's more of like a bronzy shade. And I'm gonna take a little bit on my brush. So I'm actually gonna link, if I forget, please remind me, but I'm gonna link the video where I watched someone recently, and I cannot for the life of me remember her name right now, but I will link it below, where she was talking about kind of breaking rules for eyeshadow and talking about how, you know, we're always told to put colours in the crease and stuff like that, but that doesn't work for people who have hooded eyes or monolids, that kind of thing. So she was saying rather than using your crease as a guide, you should be using like your brow bone and kind of just going under there. And she had another couple of like good tips in there as well, so I'll link that video. But yeah, I'm just gonna add like a wash of this bronzer. I feel like these are already falling. They are, look. I don't think I'm a big fan of this brow soap. Next, I'm gonna use Soph's Super Spice palette with Revolution, and I'm just gonna use the shade Not Gonna Lie. I'm gonna pop that on my lid. I'm just gonna pat it on. I love this kind of like dark coppery gold with an orange tone red lip. I used to do it quite a lot when I was younger. Like my younger self is inspiring my now self. I'm just gonna go, I haven't got anything else on this brush. I'm just gonna go over the crease to kind of blend. I'm just going to use whatever's left over on my concealer brush just to lightly wipe up under my eyes, because this particular shade is kind of sticky. Next, I'm using an angled brush, and I'm going to use the shade Brownies, and I'm going to start my winged liner just on my lid, and then I'm just going to do the actual wing with a paintbrush. Sorry guys, I got cut off. Basically all I was doing was just using this angled brush just to start the wing of my shadow liner. I put a little bit of setting spray on it just so that I could get the colour to show up on top of this glitter, because it's a little bit chunky. And yeah, that's what I was in the middle of doing. But I was just about to switch to my paintbrush. So I've got a 5.0 H&S detail paintbrush. Just got these on Amazon, but these are so tiny. They're really, really good for doing the wing of your liner and for doing detailed liner work. So I'm just going to pick up more of Brownies and continue that line. Okay, so I just finished up the inner corner with that paintbrush. I just added a little bit more liner just to give more of that cat eye effect. And finally, I'm just gonna go back into Brownies using this angled brush, and I'm gonna take that a little bit on my lower lash line. And I kind of just wanna keep this a very straight shape to maintain that winged out cat eye effect. Okay, next, moving on to contour and blush. So for the contour, this is Not something I recommend as a professional thing to do, but it's just the way I'm gonna do it. It's the way I've always kind of done it. I just use the side of this brush and a little bit of the contour shade, and I'm just gonna kind of rub that just there. I feel like if I do it any other way, it just doesn't look right. It looks too harsh or whatever. I mean, I know this side is very harsh, but that usually doesn't happen. There we go. So next I'm gonna go in with the bronzer shade, and I'm just gonna take a very small bit and tap that off because I found that this is a very pigmented bronzer. I found that the contour shade is a lot less pigmented than the bronzer is, so that's just something to look out for. I'm just gonna build up that color. I don't even need to do highlighter because this glow powder is so glowy. For blush, I'm using my Bare Minerals Bounce and Blur blush. This is in Coral Cloud, and I just like to take this kind of on top of where the bronzer goes. Okay, for the lips, I don't really have the correct color lip liner, but I do have Soph's lip liner with Revolution. This is the one that came with the Toffee Drizzle lip kit, and I'm just gonna very lightly overline my lips with this. Next, I'm going to use the shade Morocco from NYX. It's one of the soft matte lip creams. And this is quite a corally orangey red. It's also very old. And I'm just going to use a flat concealer brush and a tiny bit of my Soft Matte Complete Concealer, and I'm going to clean up the edges. Then grabbing a tiny bit of powder just to set. And finally, I'm just going to go over the top of those edges again. Okay, I'm not going to touch it again because I am really bad at putting red lipstick on. And for lashes, I'm going to use my KVD Go Big or Go Home mascara. I really like this mascara for giving me that big fluffy effect, but I also found that it doesn't smudge as easily as a lot of the others I have do. Okay, I'm actually not going anywhere, so I'm not going to set my face again. But at this point, I would just set my face again with the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray if you want this to stay in place all day. So as always, give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and comment down below, let me know what you think. I feel like I am actually really obsessed with this. I haven't done a red lip in a very long time. I feel like I need to start wearing red lipstick more often. But I just wanted to say thank you again to everyone who's stuck around. I know I've been quite crappy on YouTube the last couple of weeks, and thankfully I'm feeling a lot better, so you can expect a lot more content from me. So if you haven't yet subscribed, then please do consider it, because I will be bringing you more videos like this. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!